the attorney generals across the country, they got a different view and culture of what America is. And that's just the truth. When you see their records and their sentencing and what they do, both sides are guilty of this. But the Democrats are good at hiding. These are crazy sentences that they hand out, and they just keep getting promoted. And it's crazy to think that people actually think Democrats are the only ones that care about women and children and rules and law, because times are changed. You should pay attention.
Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Judge Benjamin.
Good morning.
Good morning. There has been considerable discussion nationally about policies of Democratic district attorneys and Democratic judges releasing violent criminals who in turn turn around and commit more violent crimes and make our communities less safe.
Are you listening?
This has been a problem plaguing the country as we've seen crime rates skyrocket and murder rates skyrocket. And it is a problem that is exacerbated by the Biden administration and the Democrats in the Senate, who continue to further the priorities of releasing violent criminals. When I look at your record, I see a pattern of doing the same thing. You're very familiar with the case of Albertus Lewis.
Oh.
Albertus Lewis allegedly shot Myra Sanchez in the head and then dumped her body in a wheelchair outside of a hospital in downtown Columbia. You granted Lewis a surety bond in the amount of $150,000. After you did so, it turned out that Lewis was involved in yet another violent incident when police responded to a domestic violence scene involving Lewis, where a woman called 911 saying Lewis had a gun and was setting things on fire. When police arrived, they had to fire almost immediately because of the danger, and they had to go in because Lewis picked up a small child and used a small child as a human shield.
Are you kidding me?
In the process, causing injury to two sheriff's deputies.
A child.
Do you think it was a mistake to release a violent criminal on bond when he went out and committed yet another violent crime?
Thank you, Senator. As I previously stated, Mr. Lewis, when he initially appeared before me, I denied his bond. It was not until after the state violated the court's order to try his case. There was issues with discovery missing in the case. And Senator, I'll just say this, the case is still pending. It's a 2017 case, it is still pending. There's issues with discovery in the case.
Oh, so
And
now
the defendant was asserting his right, Sixth Amendment right to a speedy trial. That was after 2 years when he initially appeared before me, and I denied his bond.
we're back to denying the
In
bond.
considering any bond, Senator, I consider the United States Constitution, the South Carolina Constitution, and I have to consider the bond statute of the General Assembly in South Carolina.
Okay, so you just said you did it because of a speedy trial claim. What is the remedy for a speedy trial claim?
The remedy for a speedy trial claim is dismissal. So
you didn't do that, did you?
My consideration was based on him violating the court's previous order of not trying the case.
By the way, what's the Fourth Circuit precedent on speedy trial claims? And isn't it in fact the case that the Fourth Circuit has repeatedly held that substantially longer delays don't violate the speedy trial clause?
Well, I think there's an analysis that has to be done.
You engage in that analysis?
Yes, and part of that analysis is that the state has to give a reason as to why they did not try the case. And in that case, the state did not have a reason
whatsoever. You said you engaged in that analysis. Did you write an opinion? Did you explain your reasoning from the bench?
I don't
She's not looking up.
recall. I do not recall, but we do not usually have published opinions in South Carolina.
Well, you know, the court they've appointed you to, that's what they do. And
Yes, I understand that.
so I'm going to give you a chance to answer my question again, because I started with, do you think it was a mistake to release a violent criminal who turned around and injured two sheriff's deputies and held up a little child as a human shield? Was it a mistake?
Thank you again, Senator. Once again,
Why
I
do they always say
consider
thank
the issues before me. I consider the Constitution of the state of South Carolina, the United States, and the bond code. And I
But you know,
made my
that's not
decision
any
based on
comfort
that.
to the families of the sheriff's deputies who were shot by the violent criminal you released. And you have a pattern of doing so in other cases as well, including releasing one of the people involved in yet another murder
Don't say.
of Kelly Honeywell, 33-year-old single mother of 4 who was murdered, shot during a robbery, and you released one of the individuals involved in that. And listen, what I find amazing,
A baby is a shield. That's
Is
amazing. I mean, like, come on.
the Biden administration claims they bear no responsibility for releasing violent criminals who turn around and murder people. But then President Biden keeps nominating judicial nominees who have a history of releasing violent criminals who turn around and murder people. And every Senate Democrat's going to vote to confirm you, and they're going to go home and tell their constituents,
look
oh,
it
we
up.
don't support releasing violent
Look it up.
criminals who turn around and murder people. And
He said it. I don't need to say nothing else. Nothing